it's so funny because you've done so much work. I mean, I've seen obviously Breaking Bad and the work you're doing on Your Honor, and you've done. I saw you on Broadway as Lyndon Johnson, and you killed it. You've sort of conquered all these different worlds, and I always go back to. It's funny. Every now and then I run into a Malcolm in the Middle, and it's one of the funniest performances I've seen on television. You as Hal, and it's a very particular kind of almost cartoonish energy. I'm not even going to say almost, that you're bringing to that role. And there are so many little ticks, but the physicality of it is absolutely hilarious.
Thanks.
And so I came to that show later. I think when Malcolm in the Middle was really, hitting on all cylinders. I'm working on the late night show, and I'm thinking, well, that's a family show for kids. I'm not really paying attention. And then I went back and I started seeing some of them later on in reruns, and then I started noticing that there are fans that do like mashups of all of your most amazing sequences, and I can watch those forever. I can watch those forever because I maintain that your shriek as Hal is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Please, will you hand me my screen box?
And also, you run away funnier than anyone in comedy, I think. Your runaway is absolutely delightful.
How about this?
Does that make sense to you, your runaway?
Want to see it?
Yes. There are so many scenes where Hal is up against it, and you decide to run away, and you do this thing where every part of your body is moving kind of incorrectly. It's like there's 35 cats inside a person suit trying to run away, and it is so hilarious. That's the kind of stuff, I think, physical comedy, when people can nail that, I think you're in a high stratosphere that most people don't get to experience. And I can watch that stuff forever. I really can.
That was an interesting job for me because everything else was cast. The entire family was already cast, and they couldn't find the dad. In the pilot episode, I think I have 3 or 4 lines, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And so I was trying to find the core of every character that I do. I look for what's at the emotional center of this person. And I'm looking for different ways, and I finally came across it, and I realized, oh, well, just keep this simple. I wrote down all the qualities that the Jane Kaczmarek character, who played Lois, had. Fierce, tough, resilient. And I go, oh, fierce, a wimp, tough, soft, resilient, gives cracks immediately. Yeah. Yep. And I just went the complete opposite. And one of that I came to as her was fearless. And I went, oh, he's frightened. That's it. He's frightened of everything. And so once I grabbed onto that, everything in his life, he's frightened about being fired, about being a bad parent, about his wife leaving him, about spiders.
Hello, little fella.
Come on, sweetheart.
About heights, it's like, he was frightened about everything. And from that point, everything kind of grew.
And where did the shriek come from? Because it's so much fun. There was a sequence I saw once where you've gotten into what is it called? Race walking?
Yes.
You've gotten into race walking, and you think someone else is more jogging than race walking, one of your teammates or competitors, and you accuse him, and then he panics and he tries to race walk away, and you say, don't worry, I've got this. And you start race walking after him when you could just run.
Don't worry, won't get far. 1, 2, 3, there. 3, there. 1, 2, 3, there.
And I look at it, and I am not, some people say, well, to really see classic comedy, you need to look back at Chaplin, or you need to look at Laurel and Hardy. I think, yes, definitely true, but you see it all over the place. You just have to be looking for it. There are people that can do it. And obviously that was a really great idea, so I give the writers credit and the director. But that character is one of the funniest characters in television, I think. It still endures, It's so...
God, I haven't seen it in ages, though. I mean, it's I hope it does. And I have new generations of people coming up to me because it plays on Disney Channel, I think. And they said, my kids are now watching it. I loved it when I was a kid, and now my kids are watching this. And it's like, man, that's good when it can endure.
Well, it's also fascinating that you could be Hal and then... you can be Walter White. But if you look at the work that you're doing on Malcolm in the Middle and you're playing way up that end of the neck on the guitar, and then you look at the finale of Breaking Bad and you see where you've gone and you think it's impossible to imagine.
So I did 7 years of Malcolm in the Middle, and it was great. And out of that, I had a couple offers to do a sweet, goofy dad on a sitcom right after that. And I thought, how could I do something different at this moment? It's so ingrained. I need to completely step away from that world. So easily said no to that. And later that year, I got a notice that said, well, you did an episode of X-Files about 9 years ago, before Malcolm in the Middle.
You think I'm just some ignorant pudknucker, don't you? But I get it, man. I see what this is. I am not sick and I do not have the flu.
The writer of that episode, Vince Gilligan, would like to see you about this show called Breaking Bad. Do you remember him? And I read it, and it was just incredible. And what Vince did and what he said he wanted to do at the outset is he wanted to change the main character throughout the course of the series, which has never been done in series television, whereas Walter White was going to change from a good, honest guy to becoming a killer.
Say my name. Heisenberg. You're goddamn right.
As Vince Gilligan often says, he said, I just want to see if I can change a guy from Mr. Chips to Scarface. They're not going to let me. I know they're just not going to let me do it. But we'll see what we can do. Yeah.
He's such a sweet, unassuming guy.
Yeah.
Vince Gilligan. I've had the joy of hanging with him a little bit, and you would never sense that he was the creative center of the best TV show ever. He doesn't act that way. If I had achieved what he had achieved, I'd be wearing an admiral's hat.
With epaulets.
Epaulets. I'd have epaulets. Yeah. I'd be carried around on one of those chairs. Yeah. I would let everyone know. But it's really amazing when you look at and it's it's funny because you probably heard this from a lot of people. I went back. Because my son never saw Breaking Bad. He was too young, but we started watching it together, and I went back to the beginning, and it's mind-blowing because I know the transition that's going to happen because I've watched every episode of the show when it was on, but now I'm starting again, and I still can't believe it's going to happen.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what I mean? You still think, no. This on some level, I don't see how that could possibly happen. Yet there's not a false note along the way, and it's that old saying that a curve is an infinite number of straight lines. That it's like, no, it is possible. You just have to make sure that the changes are very subtle, and each one has to be earned. Mm-hmm. It has to be earned, and I think that's what's magical about that is everything Walter White does is earned.
Yes, and that's the writing. It is the writing. It's. I will always say this because an actor gets inspired through great writing, and an actor can only perform so much. If an actor got B-level material, working at his or her best, I do believe I could get it up a grade level. But if I got C-level material, you're getting a B out of me. That's as far as you can go. It really does take incredible writing. If you get A-level material, you treat it like the holy grail. It's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, just don't screw this up. Just, oh my God. And Breaking Bad was like that. You're turning the pages and going, oh my God, I cannot believe he's doing this. Oh my God. And yet it's not an aberration. It's something that was set up. If you were attentive to it, it does track if you go back, and still it's surprising to you.
Hard to believe. It's been, how many years has it been since Breaking Bad ended? Has it been 8 years?
You're looking off. You could look at me.
No, I have Walter White right here, and you're looking at me.
Does no one know how? No.
Brian, wait here. I'm going to try and find out.
But wait.
I'll be back.
Well, no. Conan, I could tell you.
I'll head this way. How many years has it been?
I don't know.
God damn you! Damn you!
2013. 2013.
Yeah, 2013. We
So that's been, it's someone do the math.
9.
Well, it depends on when this airs.
That's
to
true.
Be fair.
We're holding on to this for a few
Yeah,
years.
for years.
I think people need to be ready for this interview. The way it started, they really need to be prepared. We need to clear things up.
9 years so far. Yeah.
So, but when you go back, as you've done, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything here, to pick up and have these moments in Better Call Saul, does it feel like you're putting on an old suit? Mm-hmm. It does. It feels like that.
Yep. It's slipping. You know how for an actor, when you sit in the chair and you start putting on the makeup and you start looking at it. When I did the HBO movie All the Way, where I played LBJ, it took 3 hours of prosthetic makeup, 3 hours every morning. And although I used it as my preparation into getting into that headspace to play that guy, that big, boisterous, domineering man.
Right.
And I can see the transformation happening when I'm looking in the mirror and they're applying all the extra nose and the ears and the things, and pretty soon you start talking like this, and God damn it, get out of here! Where's my soda? And start poking people, and you get, and you become that guy. It really helped. Same thing with even putting on Walter White's desert boots and his khakis and his shirt, his long sleeve shirt, and that very, very iconic pork pie hat of his. And there he is, and you go, I know what this feels like. And then it just kind of helps you slip into that character.
And because all this time has gone by and you've done all these other things, and the fact that you can access it, which, I imagine is, that's the craft.
Well, I imagine, but think, if for a comedy tour that you did, and a routine, and if someone said, remember this? And you go, oh, yeah. And remember this, and then you might pick up on it and go, and then I did this, and I remember that.
Yes.
And you start, it starts ticking away at your brain, and your memory starts coming back, and you start to be able to recite certain lines from it. You're going to be rusty, like you are in most of your shows. But
first of all, you're not wrong. I'm not going after you for being wrong, but saying it out loud seems cruel and unusual.